project browser, let's scroll down to one ceiling MEP under ceiling plans. Right click, duplicate view, and let's just duplicate it. Right click on copy of one ceiling MEP and rename it. Remove the copy of, let's call it ceiling sprinkler. Let's click OK. Make sure you double click on one ceiling sprinkler. In the properties, let's scroll down to discipline. We'll keep it at mechanical. The subdiscipline, let's hit the drop down. We don't have a sprinkler. It's okay. Just simply swipe over HVAC and type in the word sprinkler. Click apply. Now we can scroll down. We have our own new category called sprinkler, ceiling plans, one ceiling sprinkler. Let's look at our visibility graphics. Scroll down. Turn off anything that has to do with ducts. Flex ducts will turn off. Let's turn off mechanical equipment. Keep all of our piping on. We can turn off plumbing fixtures. Make sure sprinklers are definitely on. And the rest should be fine. Apply. Click OK. So, anytime we need a new view, it's important that we do it right in this fashion. Make sure the rest of your company knows how to do this as well. There are many different types of sprinklers. Some are ceiling mounted. Adding sprinklers is identical to adding light fixtures. This time with no exceptions, other than the fact that sprinkler heads show up as little dots. Once we put one in, we should cut a section to make sure it's mounted correctly, then we can copy it around. To get started, in the project browser, let's go to sprinkler, ceiling plans, one ceiling sprinkler. Let's zoom out on this area right here. On the Systems tab, click the sprinkler button. For the properties, let's hit the drop down. Let's scroll down to sprinkler pendant hosted. Let's go 3/4 pendant. Notice that Revit won't let you put it in your ceiling. This is because on the placement panel, we have to select place on face. The first sprinkler I'm going to locate it right where it would never be. Then we'll move it. Once it's in, hit escape a couple times. Select your sprinkler head. Click the move button. Move it to the right, 2 feet. Now move it down 1 foot. Escape a couple times. Before we copy the sprinkler head around, let's cut a section and make sure it's in the right spot. On the quick access toolbar, click the section button. Let's pick a point right here, and then pick a point right here. Hit escape a couple times. Double click on your section bubble. Zoom into the level 1 ceiling, and verify that it's in the right spot. Click the X up here to close. Now we can begin copying the sprinkler head around. Select the sprinkler head, click the copy button, or as you can see, in parentheses, you could type CO. I'm going to pick this grid intersection, then I'm going to click on the multiple button. I'm going to copy it to here, put it here. I'm going to turn off my constraint. I'm going to copy it to here, and then to here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. Let's take a look at how the sprinkler head is displayed. Let's zoom in on the first one we placed and select it. In the properties, let's scroll down till we find graphics. You see symbol, generic. Click the drop down where it says sprinkler pendant. Notice that we can add other symbols to it. We'll keep it on symbol pendant with guard for now. Hit escape a couple times. Zoom out so we can see the entire area. That was pretty painless. I always encourage getting into the habit of cutting a section after you place your first item into a model before it gets copied 100 times. This is out of personal experience. Sometimes the default pipes in Revit just won't cut it. So to create a new pipe type, we'll need to load some families into our model. These fittings will be threaded class 150Ts, crosses, and couplings. So to get started, let's make sure we're in our sprinkler plan, ceiling plans, 1 ceiling sprinkler. Let's zoom in on this area here where we already have some sprinkler heads. On the Systems tab, let's click the Pipe button. In the Properties, let's click the Add Type button. And for the chilled water type, let's click Duplicate. Let's simply call it Sprinkler. Let's click OK. Under Routing Preferences, click the Edit button in the Value column. In the Routing Preferences dialog, click Load Family. Scroll down to Pipe. For the Fittings, go to Malleable Iron. Class 150. Threaded. On your keyboard, hit Control A. This selects every fitting we have. Click Open. Wait for the fittings to load, then we can get on our way. For the pipe segment, instead of copper, let's go with Iron Ductile Class 150. For the elbows, click the drop down. Let's go Elbow Threaded MI Class 150. Do it for both. Our first junction type is going to be a T. For our junction, let's go T Threaded MI Class 150. Repeat. For our crosses, threaded and threaded. For our transitions, let's go concentric reducing threaded. Let's do the same thing. For our unions, we'll go coupling threaded. And for our caps, we'll keep it the same for now. Is it okay? Is it okay? What I'd like to do now is just draw some dummy pipes in. We'll keep the diameter at 3. Let's give it an offset of 9 feet. I'm going to pick a point here to draw my pipe. Pick a point here. I'm going to pick a point here. And I'm going to hit escape a couple times. Let's change our detail level to fine. Let's make sure that our thin lines are turned on. So into our pipe type, let's just make sure the fitting's the way we want it. It looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to delete this pipe by selecting it, holding down my Control key, selecting all 3, and clicking delete. Zoom all the way out, and I think we've got it. So, it may be redundant at this point, but these pipe types should be in your company's templates when you start each project. If not, it looks like you're the one who needs to put them there. Since our project has about 10 foot clear above the ceiling and the bottom of the structure, this one might be pretty easy. As I mentioned, adding mains can be a bit tricky. What we'll do for this exercise is run a huge main underground from outside and reduce it as it gets into the building. We'll route it up through the mechanical room, then above the first floor ceilings. So to get started, let's go to the Plumbing, Floor Plans, 1 Plumbing. Let's right click on it. Let's duplicate view, and let's just simply duplicate it. Let's right click on copy of 1 Plumbing, and let's rename it. We'll call it 1 Sprinkler. Let's hit OK. Let's hit apply. Let's hit OK. The next thing I'd like to do is set my view range. Because of the fact that we're going to be drawing a sprinkler line down about a foot, it'd be nice to be able to see it. So in our properties, let's scroll down till we find view range and click the edit button. Since we're on the first floor, for the bottom, let's go unlimited. For the view depth level, let's also go unlimited. Hit apply, and then hit OK. Now, let's zoom in on the mechanical room. One thing I'd like to do is hide some items in the model. Because of the fact that we don't have layers, there's a trick in Revit to hide just certain objects. The first part is being able to select them. There's 2 different selection methods available in Revit. One is called a box, and the other is called a crossing window. If we pick from the left to the right, this is considered a box, which means that every item that's 100% inside of the box will become selected. If we pick a crossing window, that means that all we have to do is hover over stuff. The second we touch it, it becomes selected. In this case, we want to pick from the left to the right, up and about this area. Swipe over all these objects, and then let go of the pick button. You notice all the items are turned blue. Go ahead and right-click on your mouse. Hide in view. Elements. Perfect. They're out of our way. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Let's go ahead and draw some pipe. Go ahead and pick your pipe button. Make sure we have sprinklers set for pipe types. Let's set the diameter to 12 inches. Let's set the offset to -1 foot. I'm going to draw a pipe in right at about this area. I'm going to pick a point right about here. Now instead of -1 foot, I'm going to give it a 2-foot offset. I'm going to keep going in this direction. I'm going to pick a point about 3'6" away from it. I'm going to hit escape. Zoom in on it. Of course, our detail level is set to medium, so we only see it graphically. If we set our detail level to fine, obviously we'll see the pipe in its entirety. It comes into the building, it comes up, it gives us our yin-yang symbol, and that keeps going straight. Let's set our detail level back to medium. Select this pipe, right-click on this grip, and let's draw a pipe. Let's reduce the diameter now to 8 inches. I'm going to draw it over to about here. Notice that it puts a reducer in there for us. Now, instead of a 2-foot offset, let's give it a 9-foot offset. I'm going to draw it all the way down to the middle of this hallway. I'm going to come up into this area. I'm going to pick a point here. I'm going to come into this room. Now at this point, I'm going to reduce it again to 4 inches. I'm going to come past these pipes and pick an endpoint and then hit escape. Panning down, now we can see how our pipe is coming in. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. I think we're good for now with our mains. So at this point, you should be looking for other manufacturers' equipment. Valves, backflow preventers, gates, and other equipment. Dick Pollock has the first couple can be a little tricky, but with some practice, you'll be off and running. To get started, let's go to sprinkler, floor plans, one sprinkler. Let's zoom in on the area where we have some sprinkler heads in already. Let's go ahead and select our main. Let's click on Edit Type. For the routing preferences, let's click on Edit. Let's make sure that all of our sketch 40 pipe will allow for a 1/2 inch. Type in a 1/2 inch here, and come down and type in a 1/2 inch at each location. Hit OK. Hit Apply, and hit OK. Let's zoom in on this pipe, right-click, and then create symbol. Let's pick a point on this pipe right about here, and draw it straight up. If you want, you can select the pipe itself, change the diameter to 1.5 inches. Notice that it reduces itself and makes it 1.5 inches. Select the T and click on the little plus next to it here. Select it again, right-click, and let's draw a pipe. This time we'll change the diameter to 1.5 inches before we place the other end. Click a point right here, and it reduces it. Now the next trick is to come up and over, down, back into the main. We're going to have to come way up to clear the fittings, then we'll cut a section to see how it looks. But what we have to do is we have to edit the view range. So let's scroll down to view range and click on edit. For the top, let's offset that 15 feet and hit apply. And then hit OK. Select your sprinkler, and let's right-click right on this grip. Let's draw a pipe. Rather than that, that's going to be a 3/4 inch pipe. But for the offset, let's make it 12 feet. Let's go straight into this pipe and drop it in, and hit escape a couple times. Before we do the rest of them, let's cut a section through this area to see how it looks. Let's open this section up. Let's change the scale from 1/8 to 1.5 inches. Let's set the detail level to fine. Let's set the visual style to realistic. I don't know if we need that much clearance. Go ahead and select your pipe, and instead of 12 feet, let's go to 10 feet. I think that would be enough. Zoom back in on it. Looks pretty good. Let's close out of here and come down to the next pipe. Select your sprinkler head, right-click, draw a pipe. Let's offset that 11 feet just to make sure. Repeat the procedure for the bottom one. Make sure your offset is set for 11 feet. So escape a couple times. Same out. Let's repeat the procedure for these last ones. I'm going to select my pipe and drag it out a little bit. I'm going to right click, create similar. I'm going to pick a point right here. I'm going to draw it up. I'm going to select my pipe, change it to 1.5 inches. Select my fitting, add a flange. Select my flange, right click, draw a pipe. This time I'm going to change my diameter to 1.5 inches. I'm going to draw it down to here. I'm going to hit escape. Select my sprinkler head, right click, draw a pipe. It now needs to be 3/4 of an inch. I'm happy with 11 feet. Notice that I accidentally missed it. I'm just going to select my pipe and drag it in, and it will pick it up. Repeat the procedure. Select, right click, draw a pipe, terminate. As I may have mentioned before, not every ceiling will be this low. Just like we did, I like to over-exaggerate the room that I need, then go back and cut a section, making sure I am fitting in my allotted space. As you can see, it can be tedious, but by the time you're done, you're going to have 3D views, plan views, and systems. We'll need to make some modifications to the valve so Revit doesn't add any reducing fittings. The first thing I'd like to do is make sure we're in sprinkler, floor plans, 1 sprinkler. Let's zoom in on this area here. First thing I want to do is go to the plumbing and piping panel and click on the pipe fitting button. In the properties, let's scroll up till we find a cap. We're going to go with cap, flat round top, threaded. Aim into the pipe and pick it. In this case, Revit does know what size it's supposed to be, and will put the symbology in plan for you. Make sure you're snapping to the ends of the pipes, that way Revit doesn't have a cap floating out in space. Once you've capped, let's find a backflow preventer. On the systems, click on pipe accessory. On the mode panel, click load family. Let's go to pipe. Let's go to valves. Let's go to backflow preventers. Let's grab this double check valve and click open. Instead of 2.5 inches, let's click the drop down and put the 8-incher in there. I'm going to come down outside of the room. I'm going to find my pipe, and I'm going to put it right about here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. Let's go to our 3D view. Notice that our view is still cropped off from the last view, but it's still kind of cool, right? We can see part of our preventer. So what we want to do is this. On the Visibility Graphics toolbar, let's go ahead and click on this button right here. This will reveal any element that we have hidden. Select this box that's magenta colored and unhide the category. Let's close Reveal Hidden Elements. Click off of the box or hit Escape. Select the box again. Grab this grip and stretch it out a little bit. Grab this grip here and stretch it up a little bit. That's a big backflow preventer. Again, there are literally hundreds of valves and pipe accessories out there. Components to your model exactly the same way we did it. They'll just be different components. Alright, to get started, let's go to Sprinkler, Floor Plan, 1 Sprinkler. Let's go into the mechanical room. On the Quick Access toolbar, select the Tag by Category button. Pick your pipe, pick a point right here, and pick a point off of there. Go ahead and right-click on the 12-inch and create similar. Pick a point here. And as it reduces, keep tagging it. Make sure you tag it here. And when it does that, you might be getting used to having to change it. Hit escape a couple times. And the next step that we're going to do is a little bit different. What I'd like to do is tag the invert elevations. To do that, I'm going to make yet another call out of this area. On the View tab, click the call out button and pick a call out right around this area right here. Let's double click on the call out bubble. Let's change our scale to 3/4 of an inch equals a foot. If you can't do that, in the properties, go ahead and scroll down to View Template and turn off the mechanical plan. Click on the scale, change it to 3/4 of an inch equals a foot. Let's scroll down the properties and set our view range to be unlimited for the bottom as well as the view depth level. Click Apply, click OK. Set your detail level to Fine. Let's select our crop region. Let's pull it over to the right a little bit, and we can snug this up a little bit over here. What we're going to do now is we're going to give some bottom of pipe elevations. On the Annotate tab, click the Spot Elevation button. Display elevations. Let's go bottom elevation. Come down to our main branch, pick a point right here, pick a point here, and pick a point here. Let's repeat the procedure as it rises into the building. We'll give one more down here for good measure. And we'll add one right here, right where it rises up. And skip a couple times. Let's set our visual style to realistic. This is a good way to give someone a great visual and a bottom of pipe elevation. People rarely give invert information to a contractor. Perhaps now we can. Since we know the elevation of the pipe Y-inlet connection, which is actually considered mechanical equipment, then we'll branch over to it from our main trunk line. To get started, let's make sure that we're in Sprinkler, Floor Plan, Fund Sprinkler. Let's zoom in on our mechanical room. Go ahead and click on Mechanical Equipment. Click on Load Family. Let's go to Fire Protection. Let's go to Connections. Let's stretch out our area here. Let's go to Fire Department Inlet Connection 3-way Flush Plate. Let's click Open. Since this is a hosted family, we need to host it to the outside of this wall. I'm going to go ahead and put it on this wall right about here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to click on this icon right here. I'm going to start drawing a pipe. Diameter is 2.5 inches. Offset is 2'4". I'm going to come over till I'm about halfway down this pipe here, and I'm going to pick a point. Now I'm going to make my offset 6 feet. I'm just going to draw it straight down to the top of this pipe right here and pick it. It's going to rise it up, and it's going to automatically drop it down. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I'm going to select this again. I'm going to pick this pipe here, and I'm going to swing this one down, pick a point here. I'm going to connect it right there. Yeah, escape a couple times. And I'm going to do the same thing for the third one. Pick a point right here, bring it down over here, come over into here, pick a spot. Let's click on that 3D view button. Couple near misses. So it's always good to include these items. Remember, in Revit, you really should model everything. As you can see, we're coming close to hitting stuff in this mechanical room. We're going to set our view range so we can see a little further down on the walls. To get started, let's go to Ceiling Plans, on Ceiling Mech, right-click, Duplicate View, and let's just duplicate. Let's right-click on Copy of one Ceiling Mech and rename it. We'll call it Ceiling Fire Alarm. Let's hit OK. In the Properties, let's scroll down and make sure that our discipline is set for Electrical. Let's make sure our subdiscipline is set for Fire Alarm. Apply. Let's keep scrolling down. Anything duct related has to go. Fire alarm devices obviously have to be turned on. Flex ducts and flex pipes need to go. Let's make sure electrical equipment is turned on. We can turn off mechanical equipment. Anything pipe related can go. Plumbing fixtures can go. Sprinklers can go. And I think that should just about do it. Click apply and click OK. Next thing you want to do is come into this area here. Let's go ahead and set our view ring so we can see a little further down into this room in the ceiling plan properties. Let's scroll down until we get to view ring, and we're going to click on edit. For our cut plane, let's give it a 4-foot offset and hit enter. Now we can see everything below 4 feet. This gives us a clean slate to start placing some fire alarm devices. That being said, we're going to add some smoke detectors to our ceilings and some pull stations to the walls. We'll add a fire alarm panel, then we can circuit away. To get started, let's make sure we're in electrical, fire alarm, ceiling plans, one ceiling fire alarm. Let's zoom in on this room up here. On the Insert tab, let's click the Load Family button. Let's go to Electrical, MEP, Information and Communication, Fire Alarm. Now let's grab some stuff. First thing I want to do is grab a fire alarm control panel. That's going to be useful. Next, let's grab a fire alarm horn strobe ceiling mounted. Let's keep scrolling down. Let's grab a manual pull station. Let's scroll down a little bit further, and let's grab a smoke detector. Let's click open. On the Systems tab, let's click the device drop-down and make sure we're going to fire alarm. Manual pull station comes up first, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on the wall right here, and I'm going to hit escape a couple times. Click device again. Let's hit the drop-down. Let's go to fire alarm strobe ceiling mounted. Let's click on place on face. Make sure that we're putting it in our ceiling. Escape a couple times. Click on device again. Last thing I want to do, let's bring in a plain smoke detector. Click on place on face. Let's put it in our ceiling. So escape a couple times. Now let's click on electrical equipment. We have a fire alarm control panel. Let's go ahead and put this down in the mechanical room. I'm going to hover over this wall. Now let's make a circuit. I'm going to go back up to my room here. I'm going to select any one of these devices. I'm going to click on fire alarm. I'm going to click on edit circuit. For the panel, let's grab the 16 by 19. Hold down your control key. Get the smoke detector. The manual pull station. For the load name, we'll call it North Fire Alarm. Click Finish Editing Circuit. So, make sure you stay disciplined and add all of your devices to circuits. The time you save in the long run will be your own.